Welcome to the Moon Magic channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this for these readings, which are really your weekly guidance from Spirit. Now we are going to use as a card to help to guide you into whichever reading is right for you. We're going to today draw from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, and also runes, a rune and a charm, just to guide you into whichever reading you are tuning into. And we will then draw from various oracle cards and tarot packs for each of the readings. So, your first card, reading number 1, follow the leader. So, reading number 1, this is your card to draw you in for those of you tuning into reading 1. Reading number 2, coming to life. Oh, wow. Okay, reading number 2, coming to life. And reading number 3, the card of solitude. It's a bit like the hermit, you know, there's some time alone here, maybe for reflection. Guys, in a moment I'll run you through the weekly lunar posts, and I have to say the coming week, we're bang in the middle of eclipse season, and the energy in eclipse season means that things can actually shift very quickly. And looking at the lunar forecast for the coming week, I do feel that we may see a significant shift or turn during the week as things that the moon herself is building. She will be moving into, well, her first quarter and then up into her waxing gibbous phase. So she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, moving towards a full moon eclipse. So we're seeing the energy build. I do actually think we're potentially going to see some quite significant openings this week. So it'll be really interesting to see the guidance that comes through. And guys, do check out those moon updates, which I will literally run you through in a moment. And then we'll move straight into the readings. So reading number 1, your rune is, this is really interesting because this is the rune of the spiritual warrior. Follow the leader with the rune of the spiritual warrior. This is about discernment. Yeah, who do you need to follow? It's also about integrity. Oh, wow. And we have a little, I want to say it's a cherub. It's an angel of love, a little cherub. This is a bit like the kind of, almost like the romance angels. It's really interesting because what's really pointing out or reaching out to me in this moment is the bow and arrow. It's like being thoughtful about the direction you're going in. Who are you following here? And there's a clock in this tree as well. There's something about divine timing, and we are of course in eclipse season where things are opening up. So that's the indications for reading number 1 at this moment. Reading number 2, we have the rune of breakthrough. Wow, coming to life, breakthrough. That's what coming to life as a card is all about. It's all about a breakthrough moment. It's all about something emerging. And your charm. Ooh, your charm is a tortoise or a turtle. This is really interesting because the turtle in Native American cultures is very much about beginnings. It's about the, you know, all of life emerged, you know, from Turtle. My understanding is Turtle Island, and so this energy is very much in reading number 2. For me, there is a breakthrough moment. There's some major potential, something opening up, something finding clarity here. So very interesting energy of new beginnings as well, new possibilities in reading number 2. Reading number 3, we have the card of solitude. And your rune is the rune of initiation. Okay. We'll have a look at your charm as well. But reading number 3, whichever of these readings is calling you, reading number 3, the rune of initiation is like a rite of passage. So it may be that you're needing some still time in order to navigate a transition or a passageway into something. And we have the fishbone as well. It's really interesting because I always feel it when this charm shows up, it's indicating that we need to see the bare bones of something. So it may be that you're needing to get still and see something. So these are the three, as we have them, the three piles for today's spirit guidance for the coming week. The spirit messages for the coming week. So guys, trust your intuition, see which one of these cards, the runes, the charms collectively are speaking to you. I'll put the timestamps in the information box and in the comments too for phone users, and I will also, you can stay with me if you want to listen to the coming week, the daily lunar updates for the coming week, because there's really interesting shifts within the energy, I think. And then I will move straight to the readings, but you can fast forward with the timestamps if you want to. Tons and tons of love, and I will see you in just a moment. Welcome to the Lunar Weekly Updates. So I'm going to go through the kind of impact of the lunar energy every day for the week. And I have to say, guys, I don't know about you, but I am already noticing the Mercury retrograde shadow, though it has been curious because it does already for me appear to be opening doors. It doesn't appear to be slowing things down. I think the combination of the Mercury in retrograde alongside, you know, those disruptions alongside eclipse season seems to be actually opening doorways of opportunity. Now, some of them are a little bit jolty, but let's go through the week anyway. So today, the moon actually reaches her first quarter, but very, very, very late, just before midnight tonight. So the first quarter energy of evaluation is going to span today and tomorrow. And there's a real sense of expectancy and opportunity in the lunar feel of the day today, with the potential for literally sudden moments of clarity. You know, those spikes of inspiration that kind of come from nowhere. You're out having a walk, you're relaxed, and just suddenly the answer arrives. So open yourself to receive. Relax into the day enough so that these kinds of things can actually land with you. On Monday, the moon is still in her first quarter energy, so there's still that sense of opportunity to evaluate and be shown things. She also moves from Leo into Virgo with a very long void of course position. So the void of course space means that she leaves one sign and there's a gap before she enters the next. This is going to take place between 12:38 and 22:54 p.m. GMT, so it's really, really long. She also sits directly opposite Saturn today, Father Karma, Father Time, structuring, very structuring energy. So this kind of dynamic tends to bring up aspects of sort of personal responsibility. So you might find stuff showing up in your day that causes you to have to evaluate and assess how to balance your obligations with your own needs. And also it's a really good day to initiate any actions that are going to require sort of staying power and determination. So quite an interesting day, I think, Monday. On Tuesday, the moon is in Virgo and Mercury moves full into retrograde. So guys, just back everything up, try to slow down, and I always think the retrograde energy really invites us to trust. It's like sort of knowing that the universe has the bigger picture in mind. We don't always get what we want, but we very often get what we need. But fascinatingly today, the overall flow of energy is actually in quite a forward motion. So it would suggest that shifts may occur, and also the potential really for dynamic movement forwards. So let the energy work for you, because in a way the retrograde energy slows us down. But with this kind of dynamic, if it slows us down or causes an interruption, it's because there is an opening and something else is going to move forwards because of it. So be consistent, let the energy work for you. Be consistent and yet also be flexible. If any changes or diversions arrive, just lean into that space of trust. On Wednesday, the moon is in Virgo again, and the lunar influence she really adds her power and momentum because she's building. We're in the waxing gibbous phase, she's getting bigger. She adds this gathering momentum to a very strong Mars-Neptune connection. Now Mars is very fiery, it's very go-getting. Neptune is very watery, very emotional, very spiritual. So we can kind of be very passionate. We can also be very idealistic and actually very romantic as well. But with this dynamic, we need also to be realistic. We need not to romanticize things to the point where we aren't gauging our actions carefully. We could take action too quickly without being, solidly realistic about what we're doing. So it's a very good day to take practical steps to make our passions real, but be sort of realistic and grounded at the same time. On Thursday, the moon moves from Virgo into Libra with a void of course space. It's reasonably short, between 3:59 and 6:35 a.m. GMT. Now, the energy today, it's a really good day to prioritize and genuinely invest your energy in the stuff that really matters to you. The stuff that really aligns with your heart. This is a day to get in touch with the dreams and visions of your higher self, to find meaning and purpose and align your actions and your dreams with the bigger picture. So, don't sweat the small stuff. On Friday, the moon is in Libra and the lunar influence is really gentle, offering opportunity for realignment and healing from both within and without. So whatever's happening in your world, whether it's internal or external, really embrace this energy. We've had quite an interesting week really, with I think opportunities for both sort of what I would call interruptions, but also opportunities for shifts and things to move forwards and to be seeing things in different ways, new areas of enlightenment, new opportunities, new insights. So a really lovely day to sort of almost like to rest up and allow yourself to process everything that's taken place during the week so far. On Saturday, the moon moves from Libra into Scorpio with a void of course period between 08:07 and 10:34 a.m. GMT. Now there's a really karmic feel to today's lunar influence. Given that we are in eclipse season when things can happen very quickly, Mercury is in retrograde when seemingly we get lots of delays, interruptions, diversions. This is a really amazing day to slow down. Just lean into the possibility of synchronicities and take full advantage of the depths of potential insight and guidance that could be available. We have to be still enough, even in our everyday world, whatever you're doing, we have to sort of be free of clutter and available enough to receive this information. But I think a lot of information and guidance could come through to us today in everyday kind of signs, signals, synchronicities. So get still, slow down, just be gentle and listen with everything that you are. I hope you have enjoyed the weekly lunar updates. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We are in the midst of Mercury in retrograde, eclipse season. It's an amazing time of potential transformation. Have an amazing week and tons of love to you all. Don't forget, guys, I do post all of these daily on Instagram and Facebook if you want to just tune in with the imagery and the words just to see where we are on a daily basis. Tons of love to you. Welcome to reading number 1. We have the Follow the Leader card. This is what you have chosen, the rune of the spiritual warrior, which is all about discernment, clarity of direction. And this cherub, this really interested me as we drew this, because I feel like you're needing to point your arrow in a particular direction. Follow the leader. This is a card that invites us to choose who we follow, but also to become a leader in our own right. It's like we lead through example. We don't necessarily expect everyone to follow us, but we lead through example. We set an example. It means you're being true to yourself. And that's what the rune of the spiritual warrior is about as well. I'm just going to move that over there, and we're going to draw from various oracle cards and tarot cards. So I think we're going to use the Sacred Spirit reading cards first of all. Light codes. Travel awaits you. Use the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. Stand your ground. Ooh, you need to stand firm in something. Expectation and grace. Okay, we'll have an angel answer card as well. And then we'll draw some tarot. The situation will improve. There is a shift coming here for you guys this week. It's interesting if we think of the lunar energy and also what's happening. Like, we are now in a Mercury retrograde shadow period, and we move full on into the Mercury retrograde energy on Tuesday. So this is worth thinking about, because when Mercury moves into retrograde, you know, it sometimes feels like everything goes, well, I say everything goes wrong, but it feels like there are often hindrances or delays. I mean, you know, back everything up on your computer or your laptop or whatever you have. Take extra time for your journeys. And if there are holdups and delays, that the key with the retrograde energy of Mercury is to take your time. And I feel like there's something awaiting you. It's like information coming into you. You need to stand your ground and choose a very clear direction over something. It's almost like you're going to have to make a point, but just be very, very clear about your position on something. Now, the situation is going to improve. That's what we're getting here really, really clearly for you. The situation will improve, but you're going to need this week to stand your ground over something. I mean, this card brings a clear message, whether in pragmatic action or in holding firm to your own principles and to your own opinions. Whatever your situation, do not give way. This is not a time to back down. The time is right to hold your own and stand your ground. Now, it's really interesting because I feel like you're having to deal with, interestingly enough, somebody else's expectations. That's what's really coming through here. And in a way, I feel, if I think of the lunar energy, for those of you that just came through that with me with the lunar updates, and you'll know that we're in a Mercury retrograde period, and that it felt very much as if there was going to be a shift or the potential for openings that would move things forwards for us or show us clarity. And I sort of feel like there is something this week for you guys where you're going to need to manage somebody else's expectations of you, okay? But do so with grace. You know, when we sit in relationship with grace, we see every situation through the eyes of love, fostering our desire to meet life with understanding, compassion, and kindness. This card asks that you view your situation with grace. Will understanding bring compassion? How would love view your possible choices? What would kindness suggest that you do? It's very interesting because I think the expectations here, I think it's twofold. I think you're having to deal with somebody else's expectations of you, but also almost like historically, it's as if you could move into you could respond on an autopilot, kind of with an autopilot response, which means that maybe you might automatically respond in a way that would, I don't know, support the other person over and above your own needs, for example. You know, this card is a card of memory. Expectation is a form of memory. So our past experiences colour our expectations of future outcomes. You are asked to release any form of negative expectations based on experiences of the past and centre yourself in the infinite possibility of now. So I feel like you're navigating somebody else's expectations, but you're also managing your own. It's almost like your own, if your buttons get pressed, or your own expectations of a potential outcome that could go a way that you would prefer it not to. This is really honouring things. You know, the situation is going to get better. The way is going to become clear. So this reading is really saying to you, you know, be true to yourself. Fire your arrow in the direction that you want to fire it. Now this is Cupid's arrow very specifically. I think before I move any further, I will draw some tarot cards, but I do actually feel this travel awaits you, light codes. I sort of feel like something is going to literally move forwards here. I almost feel though you're needing to be in receipt of more information before you can actually attend to this in real terms. And it may be that you're in a place of sort of having a bit of information but not all of it, and therefore you haven't been able to quite act. But this is going to shift, I think, whatever this situation is for you. Yeah, we have the Empress. So you're having to wait a little bit at the moment. Oh, 2 cards have come out. 6 of Cups, 7 of Discs. I'm going to draw from a different tarot as well. Okay. Mother of Cups. Ooh, Mother of Cups, Father of Cups, 4 of Swords and Ace of Wands. Okay. Let's move those aside for a moment. And I'm actually going to draw some additional runes as well. Okay. So we have Berkana, the rune of growth. We have the rune of protection. We have the rune of defense, and we have the rune of movement. This is really interesting, guys, because the rune of movement is the bettering of any situation. The situation will improve. What I feel like is the shift, and it may be that it's happening. I did in the lunar updates speak about this. I feel like things are being opened up for us to be able to almost like shift, kind of like removing blocks in a way, or hindrances, or work through situations and circumstances that have been kind of almost in the way of us being able to move forwards. And in eclipse season we do tend to shift and move. Fascinating that we move into a Mercury retrograde period where in some ways we might expect disruption, but those disruptions may actually be the very things that unlock or give us the key to a different pathway, or open a doorway with a solution that we needed to shift something forwards. So reading number 1, I feel like something in your world is going to open up this week. It's something that has been slightly bugging you maybe, or troubling you, or feeling as though you haven't quite got all the information you need in order to advance. But I think you are going to get the information you need. I also do think for some of you this involves relationship. I mean, we have Mother of Cups, Father of Cups, bang in the middle of the reading here. And, you know, this is like the Queen and King of Cups. So when they come up together and we have this cherub, this is, you know, but this is like a little romance cherub, you know, firing the arrow of love. And yet these guys are facing apart. So it's like something has... It's like there hasn't been an opportunity to talk something through, or, you know, for some of you, this will connect to a romantic relationship of some sort, or an intimate relationship. It may be that you are going your separate ways, or you haven't been able to talk something through. You're not seeing eye to eye. You're looking at it from 2 completely different perspectives. Your expectations are very, very different. Your expectations of what you wanted or what you thought would happen are very different. For some of you, this may not be a romantic relationship. It may be a business partnership, or even a friendship of some sort. But one way or the other, I think it's been in this space of, it's been building. It's been gestating, it's been building, it's been kind of... It's been gathering momentum without moving forwards, if that's for want of a better word. What's really interesting is on a kind of like karmic soul level journey, I actually feel like this situation is quite important to you in terms of your soul's evolution. The rune of Berkana, growth. This is a new phase of life. It may be that for some of you, you're right at the beginning of some sort of partnership, a business partnership, or you've met someone and you like them, but you haven't yet come together. You're still sort of like the attraction's there, but you haven't yet made that kind of real connection with one another. For some, it may be a genuine parting. But there's something here about whatever happens, there is a new phase of growth, or not even of growth, but of life that is about to emerge. So this kind of stalemate, not quite sorting it out, not reaching a closure or a clarity, it's going to shift and change. Look even here with the Seven of Discs, which is a card of needing to make a decision. We've still got these two trees here. We have a plough here, and the roots. You know, it's like, again, a choice is needing to be made here. And the Six of Cups, there is some looking back. It's like learning from your experiences. Now the rune of protection, very, very interesting rune for us to have drawn, because this rune speaks of managing our emotions. And it's really interesting because expectation being a form of memory, it's often quite emotionally loaded. It feels for me as if this situation that has been building without it being addressed or properly sorted out is quite loaded with emotion. And the moment we load something with emotion, we inevitably connect into history in some way, shape or form. Because, you know, it's the emotional stuff that we're left with if we process an experience in our lives, previous relationships, that kind of stuff. It's those things that leave the emotional scars, and it's those emotional scars that kind of show up again when we are in new relationships. This is why I think there's something quite karmically appropriate, because I think that you get to really shift and move beyond this. So you're either going to move into a space where these two opposite perspectives are going to come together and talk to each other, or maybe two people who like each other but haven't quite made it yet, kind of overcome their concerns and, you know, move through this space of something not being discussed, or you go your separate ways, or, you know, but something is going to shift this week. You are going to get the information you need. This is very interesting because stand your ground is really, really clear. So the rune of defense, this rune speaks for me always of boundaries, of being able to, and I think, you know, here, stand your ground, be very clear about what you actually genuinely do or don't want. The situation is going to move forwards. There's going to be some contemplation needed. I think the information you need is going to present itself. And whatever has been building is going to reach a space where I think it may feel quite emotionally strong, but there will be opportunity for you to step away enough to be able to have an overview and to view the situation through the eyes of compassion, kindness, love, and in a very pure way, and decide how you're going to move it forwards. And moving it forwards is happening. We have the rune of movement, the bettering of any situation. The situation will improve. The Ace of Wands, I mean, this is a surge of creative energy. If you're in a work situation and you have really been uncertain as to how to approach maybe one of your work colleagues, you haven't been certain about how to talk to them, how to address an issue, you're going to find a creative solution to this. You're going to be able to move this forwards with a clarity, and a creative solution is going to show itself to you, I think, here. It's really rather lovely, this, because, you know, this is a burst. We have so much positivity coming in at the end of the reading here. The situation will improve. The rune of movement, the Ace of Wands, You know, Four of Swords, there's going to be some contemplation and consideration taking place. And I do think the shift, the move forwards is coming. I think you're going to see with clarity the information you need will come to you. Even like the spark of, or an idea will come to you. Like electricity, you know that, gosh, that's the solution. That's what I need to do. That's the way to approach it. That's the way to say it. So if this is a work project or a creative project where you've even felt that you haven't known quite how to move it forwards, or you haven't, maybe if you're doing too many different things and you're not quite sure, you know, which direction to move in, the clarity will come. You know, this is about being very, very clear. But you need to take the lead here, reading number 1. In terms of walking a pathway that's really true to you. Follow the leader, be the leader, you know, but lead through example. That saying, you know, we can't please everyone all of the time, all of the people all of the time, or whatever that saying is. We can't. And I feel like, you know, you may even have to agree to disagree with someone, but the point is you need to still walk your own pathway with clarity. It's really, really important. And I do think, yeah, just compassion, kindness. Even if this circumstance or situation has niggled you, even if it's caused you it's causing you to reflect. I think for some of you as well, whatever's taken place that's led to this, it's been building. It's like, I think some of you have been going over and over and over it. You know, when you go over and over and over and you think, well, how did this work? You know, how did we get to here? How did this, you know, not emerge as I expected it to? Expectation again. But actually it will, the point here is that the solution's going to become clear. I don't think you even need to be too hung up on going over and over anything. You know, Six of Cups is sitting beneath the light codes. The travel awaits you. You're going to move beyond this situation, I think, with ease, actually. Fire your arrow. For those of you, if this is some aspect of romance and intimacy, the answer will come, and the new surge of energy, that the creative possibilities are going to arrive. There are decisions to be made. It's a difficult decision, maybe, here. The relevance of looking back is purely and solely to learn from your experiences, so that however you move something forwards, you're doing so on a really, really solid foundation. I think, reading number 1, I am going to draw just a couple more cards, and yeah, just a couple more cards, and then I think we will wind up this reading. I'm very curious. I feel quite a strong urge to just draw a couple more cards, because we're seeing so much movement forwards here. I do think this is the breakthrough that you've been looking for, hoping for, wanting. We draw from another tarot pack. Seven of Hearts, choices. Three of Stars, visions. Ooh, and there's your third card there. Two of Angels, balance. Okay. Yeah, there is a decision to be made here. Do you know, for some of you, I actually think part of the decision here is to do with your own entitlement, to do with your own self-belief. And even, do you know, I even think for some of you, historically, maybe you came from a family where you weren't given a clear role model of a loving relationship, of how to navigate a conflict or a challenge, and it's left you with the negative expectation that something might be really quite difficult. And I think it possibly giving you an expectation that something will be more difficult than you actually think it will be. I think this is going to fix itself really quite easily for you guys. I think it's possibly, for some of you, it's built up in your mind to be bigger than it really is. I'm not saying it's not real, because it's there, but the solution and the way forwards is much more straightforward than you believe. That's what a message that's coming through for some of you, not all of you. And I think the Three of Stars visions and light codes, travel awaits you. I actually feel in this instance, this card, these cards are really talking about that moment of inspiration, that creative insight, the spark of, gosh, here it is, this is the answer. Something I think is just going to open up for you. Part of the opening up for you guys, I think, is to do with you centering and balancing your own energy in grace, in love. You know, you don't have to be hung up about this. For some of you, there really has been quite a challenging role model historically that's left you with an expectation that things can't be fixed easily. But I think that that's going to get actually proven to be wrong, which is really lovely when, you know, our expectations, it's almost like karmically you've been brought a situation here that allows you to discover that things can be fixed really easily. You know, you are empowered. This is different. You do have to stand your ground. You need to remain true to yourself, but it's not going to be as challenging or as difficult as you actually thought it would. I'm really kind of reminded, for those of you who are new to me, my readings and my channel, and the Moon Magic channel here, I worked as an accredited counsellor for 28 years. Now, if you grew up with in a narcissistic household with maybe a narcissistic parent, you will within you often have that leaves a residue where we're often quite afraid that a challenging situation can never be resolved, because actually if you're little and you have a grown-up narcissist in your world, they will always win, and you wouldn't have had any opportunity to discover that you had any real sense of your own, not just entitlement, but even your own identity, your own self, because narcissists challenge everybody else's sense of self. It's like an invasion of them for anyone to be anything other than a support of them. It's the me, me, me stuff. And so for some of you, again, message coming through, I think some of you have grown up with a narcissist as a parent, potentially, or a very powerful narcissistic personality in your household. Nostalgia, looking back. And something of that has left you with a fear that solutions cannot be found or talked through in an easy way within relationship. And actually, this current situation, I think, is going to prove you the opposite. It's almost like the universe has said that this really isn't true anymore. You're now grown up, you now have choices, and actually this is not going to be as bad as you think. And, you know, we really want to show you that you can move through this and you will be supported and everything will move forward appropriately. Don't be too emotionally reactive. Hold your boundaries because you have the right to. Be true to yourself, stand your ground. Put aside any negative expectations and center yourself in the vibration of grace, of kindness, of compassion. And actually, you know, as you rebalance, the solution will come and the world will open up for you, and the situation will move forwards with power and passion for you. And this is the bettering of any situation and the momentum, the gathering of momentum. So this is a breaking open and a moving forwards and a building into something powerfully positive. So reading number 1. Gosh, I wish you the most amazing week. I feel this is a real place of breakthrough for you in a particular situation, but one that will actually kind of be helping to resolve something quite historical for you, that was a residue of your past. And, you know, sometimes we just need these experiences in life because we learn that things are actually, you know, they can be completely different. So reading number 1, wonderful friends, if this has resonated with you, do click like or share, or, you know, let people know about the channel and the readings. If you want to get notification of any of my readings, I do post some spontaneous ones and all sorts of stuff, as well as the weekly guidance from Spirit, which is very clear for you guys here. It's like there is an amazing opportunity for you to overcome something that took you back through the layers of history, something you've been carrying with you karmically, even potentially for some of you past life stuff. You came here to sort this out, and now there's an opportunity to do so and move into a new space of being. So if do subscribe, press the little bell icon if you want to get notification of any of my readings. And guys, if you want to be in my monthly subscriber draw, I give away a free private reading and also a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. I have a subscriber email list, so if you want to add yourself to that, I'll put the link in the information box below as well. And I will next week be announcing the winners of last month's prize draw. So do watch out for that, because I'll put that onto the end of the readings. So have an amazing week. Lean into the interruptions that Mercury in retrograde may bring you, because I think that's going to actually potentially create a window of opportunity for you to move through and beyond something in a powerfully amazing way. Tons and tons of love. Welcome to reading number 2. You've chosen the Coming to Life card, the Turtle, and the Rune of Breakthrough. This is amazing because reading number 2, this is the Breakthrough rune, is this incredible opening of something. It's that light bulb moment. It's often, I mean, literally sometimes the breakthrough is, it's like we take a 180-degree turn, we move in a different direction because suddenly the direction is clear. Something becomes available to us. I feel like for you guys, something is literally about to come to life. It is on the, it's at that point of breakthrough, that point of emergence. It's going to take form. Something you have been manifesting, I think, maybe for some of you for a long time. You have perhaps, it's possibly about to just emerge, or at least the direction, the next step on your pathway to show you exactly what you need to do next may be about to emerge for you. I'm going to draw a load of cards to see. So, oh, look at this, between, wow, you just, I mean, this just, we've got another turtle. Look at this, we have the turtle between worlds, new directions, coming to life, 180-degree turn, breakthrough moment. Wow, just the energy in this reading is incredible. Let's draw more oracle cards. We have difficult emotions. So this is interesting. So is this feeling challenging? Is the new direction a challenge for you in some way? Because your feelings are telling you something. The spiritual warrior, the calling of your soul. Walk away. Wow. Okay. This is, you guys are coming to life. This is one of the most powerful cards in this pack. Walk away. Walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go and move on. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we are so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of a known and yet toxic situation. This card validates your entitlement to leave. Ooh, reading number 2. This is a really powerful card. Really, really powerful card. The spiritual warrior, the pathway of the spiritual warrior and the calling of your soul and the difficult emotions. This is really interesting because this card says, so this card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. You know, sometimes if we're feeling something difficult, it isn't because we're wrong or we're bad. It's a negative emotion. We tend to see emotions in a very black and white way. Gosh, it's really, if something isn't feeling right, your emotions are actually giving you really good information. Sometimes it's like if you met someone and you felt uneasy, but you dismissed those uneasy feelings, you could end up getting involved with somebody who was really inappropriate. So those difficult feelings to start with were actually quite important. If you feel fear, for example, actually it may be really important that you kind of run, that you leave, that you walk away. If you're feeling angry or even just disappointed, you know, if you're feeling disappointment, then experience the disappointment because it's giving you good information. Don't go back and get disappointed again and again and again. Each time we get disappointed, it should be there to help us to make a clear decision. This isn't right for us. So there's something quite powerful here. Between worlds, new directions. It's really interesting, the different energy between these cards, which is all about opportunity, potential, powerful new beginnings. And these cards saying, do you know what, you need to leave something behind here. Let's ask our angel cards. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to draw a second. Big happy changes. Okay, I feel like you need to make a choice here, and it's like it's your choice to make, it's not somebody else's. You know, the changes are there, big happy changes, but it's up to you to make that choice and decision. It's not for anyone else. You know how it comes back to this, you know, sometimes we just want somebody else to change. We'd really like somebody else to shift and change. Or even, you know, in a situation or a circumstance, we might just hope it will get better. And sometimes it's really important just to recognize this just isn't happening for you and it's time to shift and move on. Let's draw some tarot cards and see what we're shown. The Magician. See, this is a card of empowerment. It's a card of alchemy. Two of Discs. Ooh, Nine of Cups. Queen of Wands. I'm going to continue drawing from this pack. I will draw from another tarot as well. Yeah, something... Right, I'm going to pause this right here. This is just wants to just sit here under the walk away card. You have choices here. You have choices, you have resources available to you, actually, that will enable you to bring your life back into balance here. You are the master. In this situation, you are the master of your own destiny. I'm even getting a really strong message for some of you. You know, the walk away from an unhealthy situation. Sometimes, for some of you, this will be, it could be a relationship, a job, whatever it is. It's for some of you, it's even it may even be the content of your own mind. You know, when we go over and over and over something, I think for most of you, it is a potential situation. It is just something you need to close the door to. You are actually the master. This reading is really empowering, which might seem strange. You know, we got these cards and I thought, wow, this is, gosh, so different to these. I mean, look what we have. We have this sort of like dilemma in the middle, this sort of stuff with some difficult emotions. And then either side of it, we have, hey, this is up to you. Big happy changes, breakthrough, new beginnings, new directions, something emerging, almost like the dream of your life coming, you know, this is amazing, the thing that you've always wanted to manifest. Here you are manifesting, the Magician, alchemy, resources coming to you, available to begin to shift and make something actually happen. The Nine of Cups, this is a card of what I would call really healthy self-satisfaction. You know, when you can choose, you've got there, you've arrived at that point of, wow, here I am, I did it. You know, this is the fruits of your own labours coming to life, happening Three of Swords, sitting under the walk away card. This is the ending of something. There is the ending of a situation, whether it's a chapter in your life, whether it is a circumstance, a relationship, a job, a project, something you're putting down, an attitude even within you. Something is coming to a completion and the turning point is here. This is the moment of the turn. This is the turning point for you. Let's draw some more from the tarot. Another pack. Father of Cups. This is you taking charge. It's really interesting. This card came up in reading number 1, 2, but in a really different way. Look at that. Completions, the world. Up to you. Big happy changes. This is you taking charge of something. It's that forward motion by choice. And the world, completions, endings, new beginnings. Wow. 7 of Wands. I just think the butterfly is so relevant here, because this is transformation. It's the completion of something again. You know, when you go through growth, changes, evolution, look at this card here. We have a butterfly again. You know, sitting just right here in this card, coming to life. Tiny little butterfly there. It's like a way of life for you of some sort is coming to an end. Just move that card over. That's going to be for reading number 3. Literally, a way of life, a way of being is coming to an end. It's time to completely let it go and walk away. But it is associated with something that feels really strong for you. This is a message coming through for some of you and not all. Okay, I think for some of you, if you have experienced some form of loss, and you've really struggled emotionally with that loss, your feelings are very real, but I do think it is time for you to pick up your own entry point to something, to a new phase of life and something you really want. Because big happy changes, this is here, transformation. As a, you know, the butterfly starts as a tiny little egg. It becomes a caterpillar. It then becomes a chrysalis. There's a period of waiting, and then it emerges as a butterfly. There is some aspect of your world that is literally at that breakthrough point. It's at the emergence point. But something has to be let go of. You have to walk away from something for you to be fully available to receive that dream, that desire, that whatever it is, the outcome. So whatever that is, that moment of genuine self-satisfaction, I did the work. I started out as an egg and I'm now a butterfly. I've been through the process. Now is the time for you to absolutely go for it. But it does involve the completion of something and the letting go of something. I don't know what you will be letting go of, but it's going to bring you back into balance. So whether it is, it's whatever you're letting go of, it's been attached to some very powerful emotions. For some of you, you may literally be in a situation where you're needing to burst forth and move on and to walk away. For others, it is just a walking away from a chapter that has been really, really challenging for you. A chapter of life that has been really, really difficult, but it's time to let go of that. It's also time to let go for those of you that use your own emotions to give yourself quite a hard time. I'm really hearing that coming through too. It's time to complete that as well. This is a real breakthrough. It literally is. It's a breakthrough point for you. Let's draw a couple more runes. Defense and wholeness. Yes. The rune of defense for me is a rune that speaks to me of boundaries. I love this rune. I always feel it almost for me feels like it's drawing the line. It's learning to navigate with a clarity. The rune of wholeness is the path you must follow. You know, so this needs to happen. It's time for this situation to come to an end, for closure to take place, the world, for completion, and to move forwards. You have a choice in this. You know, you could choose to linger with this energy, or you can choose to move on. You literally have a choice in this. I'm going to draw from another tarot, because you are sitting between worlds. Nine of Trees, refinement. Oh, your cards have come straight out. Six of Trees, receiving. And Three of Angels, clarification. I feel like I want one more card here, actually. Page of Stars, curiosity. That's lovely. This is really interesting because, of course, the moon, as you know, for those of you who've listened into the daily moon updates, we are moving from the first quarter towards the full moon eclipse. Look at that refinement, that tree there, Six of Trees, receiving. Three of Angels, clarification, and then we have curiosity. Literally, this really is time for you to emerge. I actually feel for some of you that this coming to life, I said for some of you it's literally walking away from a phase of life, a period, a chapter. For others it's a very real and immediate situation. But that chapter of life, maybe during that chapter of life you didn't feel that you could really receive, you couldn't have your dreams. It's now time for you to take an ownership of them. New directions, completion of something. And this is this space of, what I want to say, self-satisfaction, where you really can step up into that space of your own creativity. It's time for you to receive. It's time for you to get clear about what you want and be supported. And it's time for you to embark on a new journey, the coming to life, the new directions. Look at that pathway. Curiosity. The discovery of new pathways, the knowing that you have the right to choose. It's like you can emerge, you can be that butterfly. When a butterfly emerges from the chrysalis, it doesn't know where it's going to fly. It just sets off on this voyage of discovery, because it's now fully formed and able to do so. I think the message from Spirit this week for you is that you are literally at a breakthrough point. You have been sitting between the worlds, literally some of you, which is what I think happens when I spoke about some of you maybe losing someone or having a bereavement. I think for a little while when we lose someone, and this can happen in transition too, when we are shifting from one space or one phase or one situation to another. It is as if a part of us kind of leaves and sits on the other side. We're in a space of transition. We're sitting between the worlds. And in a way, this is a time for you to return to your own wholeness and your own completeness and take charge of your own direction, and your own entitlement for something that you really desire to be yours to have and to hold, actually. It's time for something to come to an end, a conflict or a situation to come to an end, and for you to emerge. This is the time of your emergence. This is an extraordinary period of time. Even with Mercury moving into retrograde, again, use the Mercury retrograde energy to slow down enough to allow yourself to get the clarity you need, receive the information you need, gain the clarity, and then be curious. Step into a playful space of discovery, knowing that happy changes await you. something is coming to a completion, all you actually need to do is to let go, to walk away from something. And, you know, actually that sense of wholeness and completion will come. You do need to let go of something, and it's time to move forwards and embrace the new. You know, if you were like a pie chart of energy, something has been taking up emotionally quite a lot of your pie chart. Okay, so it means that you haven't been fully available to emerge, to embrace your life. That's now changing and shifting. Something needs to be let go of that was quite loaded with emotion, so that you are fully available to you. Guys, if you are struggling with difficult emotions at all, do check out my library. I have a totally free library. It's www.azemotionalhealth.com. I worked as an accredited counsellor for, gosh, over 28 years. And this is a completely free resource. And it's there to help you to understand emotions, to teach how to use emotions in a way that will allow you to understand them as a source of empowerment and not as a hindrance. And there's a ton of stuff in that library, including a whole kind of chapter in the library, an area that you can visit with lots and lots of videos and talks about bereavement and transition and moving on and all kinds of stuff. So guys, do check that out if that's relevant to you. So reading number 2, you are at a breakthrough point. This is the time to emerge. It's the time to ditch any emotional baggage that's been holding you back and walk away from anything that has been limiting your horizons. And, you know, I wish you the most amazing week of openings. And guys, if this has resonated with you, you know, do please share, like, and if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you want to subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come through into your stream. And if you also would like to be in my monthly prize draw and potentially win a free private reading with me, or a pack of these cards, a first signed limited edition pack, I do have a subscriber email address, and I'll put the link in with all the other information for you guys too. And that's a monthly draw. Once you're on that email list, you're on it forever, and unless you remove yourself, and I will then my colleague actually takes a name from that list, or the names for those gifts every month. And it's my way of giving back to you for being part of this channel, you know, part of this community. So thank you guys so much. Tons and tons and tons of love, and have an amazing week of actually letting go and moving forwards. You know, Spirit is really inviting you to release, let go of something, and embrace every potential that they wish to offer you to move forwards and emerge. Tons and tons of love. Reading number 2. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the card of solitude. This has drawn you, and the fish bones, getting to the bones of the matter, and the rune of initiation. So this is very much a card that invites you to meditate, invites you to get still. I feel like you're needing to process something or see something in some way. Let's draw oracle cards first. Wow, that just I just got to laugh, because, you know, in reading number 2 we had the turtle, and immediately what shot out of this pack was a card with a turtle on it. And here I am talking about meditation, and here you have the meditation card. So you couldn't ask for this, could you? Right, so there is space, stillness is required. Slow it down. You're going through a transition. And actually the best way of navigating this, I mean, improvements require persistence, but the best way to navigate this is to really get still, to kind of let go of, I think, anything. You know, sometimes we push because we want to make something happen. This is like a time to do the opposite. And for those of you that tuned into the lunar updates, you'll know we are entering a Mercury retrograde period this week. And so, you know, sometimes there will be disruptions. In a way, the best way I think Spirit is really offering you guidance here is saying, slow down this week. Almost embrace the need to slow down, get still, and kind of let the universe maybe do some of the working through for you. The inner critic. Okay, so I think maybe some of you have been criticizing yourselves. You feel like you've got something wrong and you haven't. This is really clear. You're giving yourself a really hard time. It's like you're picking yourself to pieces. The bones. Do you know, there's nothing wrong with getting to the bare bones of the matter. But you're picking yourselves to pieces, like you're giving yourselves a really hard time. Whatever has taken place was out of your control, out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. Stop criticizing yourself. You know, this card asks you to transform your inner critic into an inner critique. The realistic appraisal and constructive feedback of a critique will enhance your ability to step into the very best version of you, whereas ongoing and persistent criticism will wear you down and it will erode your confidence and your own belief in your abilities, in yourself. It's really clear. Giving and receiving. Yeah, give and take is different to giving and receiving. Taking and receiving are not the same. It's really interesting because I feel like what this card is saying to me is I think you may have been, some of you, this will apply to some and not all, but I think some of you may have experienced, I'm kind of seeing it as the energy of a taker. Actually, somebody who wanted to take, and that was out of balance, and you're needing to replenish. And I think they left you feeling like it was your fault, because people like that do. You know, takers are very good at taking, and the moment you try to say no, they make you feel really bad for not continuing to give to them. I feel like you need to really slow down, take some time out, retreat, and not retreat in and running away. This is retreat in a, let me move those runes for a minute, retreat in a conscious way, choosing to take time out, replenish, okay? Giving and receiving, ask for help from others. Success. That feels good. Take time out, slow down. This is a really strong message from Spirit this week for you. Your guidance right now. Look, you're going through a transition. You're going through a period of initiation, and it's very, very personal to you. This rune is a really personal experience. So, you know, getting still, really maintaining your daily spiritual practice is going to be really important for you. Stilling the mind, not going over and over stuff. It's really interesting as well. Do you know, I also think ask for help for others, from others. I do think some of you have been involved with people who've been taking. It's left you fearful of allowing yourself to receive. Because if we've been around takers or people who kind of emotionally, you know, deliver emotional blackmail or make us feel shit, basically, about stuff or about ourselves if we're not endlessly giving to them. It means that we end up sometimes being fearful of asking for help because we're afraid that it will come back. You know, like when you allow yourself to receive, and then, because if you allow yourself to receive something from a taker, they were only ever giving it to you so they could call it back in later. And it can leave you with a fear. Wow, do you know, look at that. The candle has just gone out. Literally, it's just gone out. I'm actually going to press the pause button and I'm going to get another candle. I feel like something is coming to a completion here for you. It's like a phase where, and this does sort of slightly relate to reading number 2 as well. Actually, really interesting because we are in this incredible turning point. Guys, I'm just going to press the pause button. It shouldn't affect you in any way, but I'm just going to go and get another candle. Okay, so I've lit us another candle, reading number 3. I think that's really important. It feels like something's coming to an end. You're moving through a transition. You've been picking yourself to pieces over stuff. I think you've been involved at some point, whether recently or historically, maybe for some of you on more than one occasion, with people who were takers, and it's left its mark, but you're moving through something. For some of you, you really are coming out of something, but it's really time to move into a space of mutual giving and receiving, that healthy interdependence. Ask for help from others. Success. This is lovely. There's a way through this. There's an opportunity here. There's a lot of letting go going on, but I mean that beautifully fits with not only the energy of eclipse season, also that space and time that we're in, where we are, the moon herself, the lunar energy is building. You know, we've had the first quarter, and we are in the waxing gibbous, so the moon is getting bigger and bigger, and we're building to a full moon where we can release things, we let go of things, we move beyond. So this is really does feel like quite a lot of potential openings this week. Yes, lovely. 8 of Wands. Six of Discs. The Sun. The Teacher and the Queen of Cups. Oh, and look at that beautiful full moon. Okay, I'm going to use another tarot as well. I feel like reading number 3. It's like you've learned a karmic lesson, okay? In this period of taking some time out to replenish, to meditate, but in a way meditation is a medication, isn't it? It's a self-medication where we actually embrace on our spiritual wellness. We look after ourselves. 6 of Discs here. It feels really nurturing. I feel like within this space of solitude, you're kind of being asked to get clear on your direction, and also on what you actually want. It's like this is serving a purpose, and that's also the, you know, don't pick yourself to pieces, but also get clear. Do get to the bones of something. Get clear on what you really want. Use meditation and some time out. You know, Spirit is really suggesting solitude and solitude, time out to replenish, to get still, to become clear on the pathway you wish to take, kind of what you actually really want. Again, I think it's got muddled a bit because somebody made you feel bad about something, and it wasn't your fault. You know, you've done nothing wrong. This is just, there's a few cards in this pack that are so clear, and this is one of them. You've done nothing wrong. Absolutely, really clear. Let go of any feelings of guilt. This was not your fault. There was a lesson to be learned in it, though, and that's the point. Rather than picking yourself to pieces, recognize, you know, even people who come into our lives and bring us difficulties, or, you know, the takers of the world, they do teach us. I mean, gosh, the takers of the world teach us discernment, and you're going to emerge. You're going to get to a point where we have the card of success, the Sun. I mean, the energy of creativity is coming through here. So there is a transitionary period. This is the spirit guidance this week for you. Use meditation, solitude, stillness to get really clear, not to go over and over something, not to pick yourself to pieces, but to get to the bones of what you really desire and nurture yourself in this space of stillness, ready to emerge again. You've learned the lessons. You've done the work. It's really time for you to blossom here. Ace of Swords. I feel this is a real time of newness for you, the High Priestess. And again, look at that beautiful, beautiful moon. Sitting, I say moon, it could be a crystal, but for me this looks like a full moon sitting beneath the crescent. The point is this crystal ball with the moonlight in it. This is what I feel like you're going to get, you're going to get really clear. In your meditation, something is going to become really, really clear to you. Something you really, really previously may have felt quite conflicted about. Yep, absolutely, the devil. The devil for me is always a card that speaks of liberation, or almost like the opportunity to be liberated from something. I mean, sometimes it's a card that connects to addictions and things. Okay, and we also have the Four of Wands. So there's a turning point here. There's a point of there's a turning point here, but there's something about getting still enough to be able to see the cords that you need to cut, to shift away from this pattern of where giving and receiving have been out of balance. There's definitely replenishment and the cutting of cords taking place. I think something will become clear to you, something that has been causing you to feel conflicted, that something that caused you a situation with someone else that caused you to feel, it's like to feel like there is a conflict and it's your fault. It really, really wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong at all. This is so, so clear. And there are other people who are, I want to say, far more genuine, who are ready and available and there for you and wanting to help you. The card of success is just so powerful here. You're going to really, really see with a clarity how best, you're going to see which cords you need to cut and what you need to let go of. It's going to become really clear to you. It really, really is. The clarity will come, but it will come through, not through you trying to push to make something happen, but actually the opposite. It's like, you know, when we withdraw and we step back from a situation, and when we step back and we meditate and we get still, the answer comes. But as long as we're trying to make it happen, we're trying to force it to happen, that moment of clarity never comes. The clarity is going to come through you relaxing, breathing out, taking time out, letting go of the thinking patterns, letting go of the inner critic. It's like just stopping, meditating, nurturing, just take time out, replenish, and actually it will become clear. And those that are there to help you will step up. You are definitely not alone here. There are people around you who want to support you. There are people around you who are available to help you to transition through this. I'm going to draw more tarot. The Emperor. Page of Hearts, Innocence. This is a return to innocence. This is a return to, well, what I'm also seeing is, I think whatever this situation is, I think you were actually quite, I want to say quite innocent, quite naive. You didn't do anything wrong. Somebody took advantage. Somebody took advantage of your purity. That's really what happened here. Seven of Hearts, choices. This is about you reclaiming your choices. And success. Ask for help from others. Knight of Stars, adventurer. That's lovely. I'll draw a couple more runes as well, but it's really interesting. You know how sometimes we just, when we're going through a transition, we want to speed it up, we want to make it happen, and the more we try and the harder we try to fix something, it's almost like the deeper and deeper we get into something, we can't fix it. It's not, sometimes it's, you can't. What you actually need to do is just get still, and the answers will come to you. You'll see what you need to let go of. The way will become clear. Success is coming to you. The choices will become clear to you, and I think you're going to re-find that space. It's through stillness and meditation that you will re-find your own equilibrium and your own trust in people and the universe. This has damaged your trust. You know, this situation, this person damaged this damaged your trust and left you with a raging inner critic where you're constantly feeling like you're the one that got it wrong, and you didn't. You didn't do anything. It's not your fault. And it's now time to bring yourself back into balance, honor your own choices, and kind of set forth again with a degree of, it's like allow yourself to test the waters with some new people. And, you know, people want, we have a card of success here. This is awesome. The key here in this shift is actually to do with replenishing, nurturing, stopping this stuff within you. Get still, meditate, raise your own vibration, and everything else will follow. We have the rune Hagalaz. This is the rune of disruption. It's like Uranus, the Great Awakener. And we have the rune of harvest. So Hagalaz is really interesting. It's a rune of disruption, but do you know, sometimes it's not, sometimes it means something happens suddenly and it wakes us up and brings something to our attention that we have to attend to. We need to break free from it. At other times, it means that something has built up over a long period of time and we realize that we can no longer tolerate it anymore. Again, we have to break free from something. The devil, you have to break free, set yourself free from something here. This isn't about somebody else doing it for you. It's you setting yourself free from something. This is a reading of liberation. That's your rite of passage. Instead of picking yourself to pieces, it's time to get to the bare bones of things and set yourself free from the stuff that you were left with. Take charge of your life. Learn to trust again, but not trust in a blind trust way, but trusting because you've learned your lessons. You learned from the scenario. You're not going to trust blindly again. Excuse me. Oh, my apologies, Super Souls. That was a big interruption with an alarm going off that I had to attend to. So let us just return back to where we are. You see, this is a reading of liberation. It's a reading of success where something that was, for some of you, very, very big in terms of the impact on you, feeling just kind of so responsible for something that was not your fault. And now it's like you've learned the karmic lesson, which means we shift. It's really interesting. I had a message from somebody talking about karma, and their view was very much that it was sort of fixed before we arrived, and then we were like stuck with it for the rest of our lives. And I have a very different perspective. You know, for me, our karmic lessons are something that we are working at a level of soul, ongoing. And when we experience something, if we don't attend to it, it will come back and we'll be given an opportunity again and again until we do. But when we do the learning, we shift and we move into a different space of evolution. And that is what I'm seeing. It's something here that you have needed to move through and beyond. The rune of harvest is a fruit-bearing rune. It's a rune that says a harvest is going to be coming in. Success. You're going to win at this. What is needed right now, and I do feel like for some of you, you're tired. This has drained you. It's been an energy drain. Someone took advantage of your innocence, but now you've learned your lessons. You've done this level of growth, of work. And so that level of work opens up your choices for you. You can become an adventurer again, because you're not going to be taken advantage of again. This is how we develop discernment. This is how we learn and how we grow. And, you know, we can re-find our purity because we know that we have the right to choose. And we can trust. Just because there are some people in the world who were takers, it doesn't mean everybody in the world is a taker. It's like we begin to learn that we can cut the cords where we need to and take charge of our choices. There's so much shifting and movement forwards here, with such an invitation, but right now for you to retreat, replenish, nurture, look after yourself, let go of this stuff. I almost feel like I want to put you guys into a beautiful warm bath of organic salts and lavender and, you know, letting go of something, cleansing, releasing, knowing that your intuition is now really, really sharp, so you can be very clear and very discerning about, when you meet people, what cords you wish to make and which cords you wish to break. You know, so this is a reading of liberation and empowerment. So reading number 3, yes, I think there's some tiredness around you, and I am really saddened that this happened, because it's really harsh when you meet people who are takers, people who had their own agenda in mind and took advantage of your purity and your innocence. It doesn't mean that you lose that forever. It means you refine that level of trust again with a level of choice and discernment, because you've done that level of work. Creativity, energy is returning to you. You know, you're moving into a new phase, and you know, we have the card of success. This is lovely. So reading number 3, if this has resonated with you, I mean, thank you so much for joining me. And there's a very clear messages coming through from Spirit, I think with a lot of honor and respect for you for this level of work. So I just want to say tons and tons of love to you. The messages are very clear for you this week. Retreat, look after yourself, replenish, recover, meditate, get still. And as you let go of this residue of stuff, success will come, and you're going to be able to draw in to your world the kind of people who genuinely wish to help you. You know, genuine, honest, beautiful, lovely people. You can become an adventurer again. So if this has resonated with you, you know, do like, share, subscribe to this lovely community if you wish. And if you want to get notification of any of my readings, do please subscribe and press the little bell icon. That way they should come into your stream. And guys, if you would like to be, I have a monthly prize draw. If you'd like to be in that monthly prize draw and win a free private reading, and also I give away a pack of first signed limited edition cards, these oracle cards. It's a subscriber offer, and I have a subscriber email list, and I'll put the link in with all the information. Once you're on that list, you're on it permanently, and I announce the winners once a month. So next week after the readings, I'll be announcing the winners. So guys, if you're on that list, do look out for your names in that announcement next week. And guys, just have an amazing week. Relax, take time out, chill, let go of this. Don't pick yourself to pieces. This is a time of a refinding of trust and success. It's like this is being put down and letting go of it. And you know that your intuition is now so sharp because you've learned from this, that you can actually move forwards with confidence and begin to reap in the success and the harvest that you are due, because you've been doing this level of soul work. So reading number 3, tons and tons of love. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you for next week's guidance, which I post every Sunday. Tons and tons and tons of love, and I may well be doing some extra readings in the week as well. I do post spontaneous ones. So guys, I look forward to seeing you soon. Tons and tons of love to you.